First question is, what is the performance doing? I think this performance is very intriguing, and in fact, I think it can be perceived in many different ways. Um, to start off, the performance was conceived as a strategical comment on the past, and secondly, I think the performance is trying to gain the perception of critics and outsiders, aka Americans, through this social experiment and see what they think. The second question is, who are the audience for this performance? So I think the audience is very two-faced, meaning I think it's clear that it is a performance and the audience is the people watching, and the ones engaged in the performance and watching, the performers, the people in the cage. But I also believe there was a hidden audience, but not necessarily hidden, but disguised. I think that audience is the performers, because technically the performers were watching the people around them just as much as the audience was watching them. On that note, not to mention, the audience were essentially the people they visited, including like the places like Chicago, New York, etc. All right, so the third question is, how is the performance created? I'll start with that and then get to what are the performance aspects that are most important. So for how is the performance created, I said the performance was created as a social experiment and included a performance on a specific tribe that not many people know about, hidden in a jungle, still living life how we used to, hunting, gathering, no technology, etc. This performance is created through deception. The performance is a front to retrieve what the performers are really after. And I think the most important aspects of the performance is the reactions of the audience. I think the point was to see how the audience would interact with them, watch their dances. Would they watch their dances? Would they pay for their dances, pay for a story, watch a story, etc.? The fourth question, were you lost, or where did you feel connected during the performance? I felt lost and connected. Honestly, the whole time I was lost. I think you don't really understand what's going on until the end when they really dissect it and break it down. But if they didn't tell you that the performance was like a setup, and they wanted to see the reactions of the audience through a social experiment, I would have had no clue. But I also felt connected on the point where there's a lady and she was talking about America, and she was saying this is where I'm from, and it just hurts me inside that, your pain, there's two people in a cage, and you're just watching them, paying for them to do tricks, basically, like they're animals. And then what led me to feel that way is just, you're watching the performances, and you're watching what the audience is doing. And that's really what led me to feel that way. For the last question, what course material from the week connects to this performance and how? I'm gonna have to say, in class when we were talking about just how to dissect a performance and really understand what's going on. Especially for this performance, it was extremely confusing to me from the top to the bottom. I thought I kind of understood, I knew what was going on, but just really trying to use context clues and understand what the performers are doing from movement, tone, and things of that nature. It kind of helped. This one in particular was just very interesting and very complicated in my opinion, but